Hello, I'm ABX and today I have something I'm really excited to share with you all to do with the Pocket Edition version of Minecraft. The reason this is so exciting is because it is a way to get to the far lands in this game, and it's actually an exclusive feature for this edition. The reason that is so cool is because the far lands is one of the most well-known bugs in any game ever, and it's known from being on the PC version of the game, where once you went past a certain point, the generation would just glitch, you couldn't really go further, and your game would start to get more and more crashy. Well, one thing you might not have known is this hasn't existed on the PC for quite some years now, but it does still exist on the Pocket Edition, and today I'll be showing you how to get there in just a few minutes. Hopefully you all do enjoy this video, hopefully you're all as excited to go to the far lands as I am. If you are, like the video and let me know because it helps out the channel a lot and lets us know you do like the Pocket Edition stuff. But with that said, let's get straight into it already, shall we? So this will require Android. If you have jailbroken iOS, it'll work there, and you're going to need to download at least one app. I mean, downloading an app isn't hard, but just in case, you're going to need to download one app to actually help you with this. And yeah, what you want to do first though is make a world and call it Farlands. You can do this on an existing world, but I'd recommend making a new one because again, things are going to get crashy, especially if you have an older device. So Farlands, and make sure it's both a creative world and that it's an infinite world. Okay, that's the wrong button. Make sure it's both a creative world and that it is an infinite world. If you don't do that, things are going to go bad. So yeah, infinite, creative, let's go. So yeah, you want to just go into the world and then immediately exit, or if you want to play around for a bit, you can do that. It just doesn't really benefit you. And yeah, there's two ways to get there. If you're on devices where you can't use a separate app, you can just go 12.055 million blocks in any direction. It's not too long. It's just, you know, about 30 days of non-stop travel. So if you want, just fly 30 days in one direction. But assuming that isn't your goal here, which I assume isn't for most people, what you want to do is exit the game. So just go like this, quit to title, and then go to the Play Store and download an app called Pocket Editor. So I'm just going to go straight to the page right here. Okay, that's the actual app. Go straight to the page right here, which is on the App Store. As you can see, Pocket Editor looks like something like this. Has over 10 million downloads, and it's by Zwar. Okay, I can't pronounce that, but it's by this guy. And if you open the app, then it's going to take you to all of your saves. So from these saves, what we can do is we can hop into the Farlands. As you can see right here, it's going to show that I last played that 1 minute ago, according to my time right there. And yeah, if we go into this world, we can edit world info, and we can actually edit our position in the world, which is pretty cool if you ask me. We can do some other cool stuff, like edit our inventory if you want to. Again, this isn't the most comprehensive app for editing your stuff. It's just one that's really, really easy to use, because you hit edit world info, go to move player, and then type in your coordinates. So if you want to type in coordinates that aren't quite as extreme, you can go, there we go. If you want to enter coordinates that aren't quite as extreme, if you go past 525,000, the game starts to get a bit jittery. If you go past 900,000, the game starts to get really jittery and, you know, kind of painful. If you go past 5 million, you'll start to fall through the floor. But if you go to 12 million, and then it's 550, and then I think it's like 800 after that. So it actually happens at 824, but to give ourselves a bit of breathing room, then you want to make your coordinates to be at like roughly 100, 128. Let's just go to 120. And then your other coordinate, it doesn't matter for now. We'll go to the corner Farlands later, but for now, just leave that wherever it is. And yeah, move the player there. Then hop over back to your world, and you're going to be able to see what happens. So what that did is it edited the save file, so it thinks that I actually traveled there, you know, or I just edited the last save when I was there. And then when we hop back in, make sure you fly immediately, by the way, because you're going to want to do that. If we hop back in, then boom, we're actually going to spawn right in the middle of the floor right here, next to the Farlands. So that's right, the Farlands in the Pocket Edition. And not only is it the Farlands, it's the legit Farlands with all of the associated bugs. So, like I mentioned, it's going to be jittery around here. Like I mentioned, we're going to fall through the floor. And also, because we're far enough out, the controls start to get a bit funny here. Again, this is just something still of the way the game is coded. But yeah, this happens at exactly 12.0821. And as you can see, it's a very, very, very bizarre thing. You can only actually sprint fly to get anywhere. Just look at these controls, like I'm trying to go somewhere and it's not really happening. Very, very strange stuff. But what's even cooler than this to me is the fact that, again, you just kind of fall through the floor. You saw mobs spawn there and immediately fall through the floor because the floor just doesn't work past this point. Again, something sort of the way they handle calculations means things just do not work at this point. And yeah, very, very bizarre thing. But what's even cooler than this is if we actually go into the Farlands, not only are the blocks not going to be solid, because again, things don't exist at this point. But if we go above it, then let's see. Okay, so let's go up here. Things are really tricky. Like I said, the controls don't properly work at this point. Because things just get kind of weird like that. But we will float up. And hopefully I can show you something cool, because what happens here is if anything tries to generate, so if a desert temple tries to generate, if a village tries to generate, if a jungle temple, if any form of structure tries to generate, or a cave even, things go really messy. So here you can see, for instance, here's what it looks like. It's just strips on strips on strips of the weirdest terrain ever, and hopefully I can try and find a structure to actually kind of show that off, because even without structures, I think it's an insane thing. But I've shown off on the PC before. When you get a village, it just kind of, it doesn't seem to care the fact that the world around it is broken. All the villagers fall through the floor, and it's just one of these very, very wacky things. But for now, you can just kind of get the idea. It's you know, the game thinks it's just generating regular biomes, but what's really generating is these giant strips of land that kind of function as caves. Again, there's nothing you can really do past this point because you just fall through the floor anyway. But this is what the world looks like, and you can see the frame rate, by the way. It also tanks your game because, again, you're not really meant to be here. But this isn't kind of the limits of the Farlands, because this is what happens when you hit 12.55 million in one direction. What happens when you hit it in... Okay, wait, you can't go through the floor. Oops. my bad. But yeah, what happens if you hit it in two separate directions at the same time? Well, let's find out, shall we? So let's go back to the Pocket Editor, assuming the game hasn't crashed. I think the game's crashed. Oh, no, it hasn't. How nice. But yeah, let's... I closed the game that time. Okay, so let's go back to the Pocket Editor, just like this. And we're going to move the player, and we're going to move him to... the same coordinates, but on both sides now. So 12550, 800. Then we want to make sure we're somewhere in the sky, so 111 works for me. And then again, we want to do the same here. So 12. So make note of this if you want to do this yourself. 550, 800. So we type that in, and we're going to end up exactly where we want to be. So now we go back to the game, which is actually closed itself because I made a mistake there. Yeah, we go back to the game like this. Doesn't use the U word apparently. And we go back into the Farlands, and as you can see, we're not only going to be at one corner Farlands, we're going to be at two, because what's going to happen is the world generates that crazy terrain in one direction, but then what happens in the other direction, you can probably work this out, is eventually it means they hit, and when they hit, it creates the most insane thing ever, because it's trying to generate this really strange thing, but it's doing it twice at once. So here's what it looks like. As you can see, it's just a sea of blocks. It actually looks different to the PC equivalent. It's just a sea of blocks being generated in the middle of nowhere. It looks like Skygrid, but made entirely out of dirt blocks. And this is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Look at it. It's just dirt blocks in every direction. So, yeah, what happens when you hit the max, distance in any one direction? You get the strangest wall of just blocks. What happens when you hit it in two directions at once? Well, you get Skygrid, but made entirely out of dirt blocks. With a single dirt tree down there, I want to get to that, actually. So let's see if we can do this. So I'm going to hop down. Okay, my ability to unjump has been broken. My ability to do very much is broken at all. Like I said, the controls just don't work at this point. I want to get down to... Okay, there we go. So now let me show you this tree over here. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's get to it. Boom! A tree generated on one of these blocks. Even though this is a terrain made out of something that's so surreal, it can still generate, but it's generating grass every now and then, tall grass. There's some lava over there. But again, this isn't actually the furthest you can get, because this is using the old, world generation algorithm. What actually happens is if we go beyond 12 million, let's say, so this is 12 million in both directions, what if we want to go even further? So there's not actually much that happens until we hit, I think it's 35 million in direction. So if we now, so move player, we want to move him from 12555550, and we move all the way to 35 million. So 00000. And let me show you what happens here, because this is even cooler. If there is such a thing, this is even cooler than what happened before. So, that's wrong, but we'll leave it like that. So hop back into the game. I accidentally forgot to save, so I need to try this again because I've messed up. Again, always save your close your save file first, because otherwise you'll mess up. Now what we want to do is change one of these coordinates. We'll say this one for now. We want to change one of these coordinates to 35,000,000. So 34 million will work too, but 35 is a nice dramatic number. Now when we hop back into the world, not only are things going to be so much more laggy, so much more crashy, and you're going to see how the game's going to barely be running, but Minecraft will not only just be a big, grid of sky things, it's also going to be 2D. So, okay, so this is, so as you can see right here, once we can actually see anything, because we're trapped in water, it seems. Water physics do not work at this point in the world. They just don't probably work. But also, if we go above this point, you can see how the entire game becomes 2D. This is what happens when you go past that point. You can only see blocks from one particular side. In this case, it's like the east side or the west side, I think that is. And yeah, it's the craziest thing. You can't even move in any directions. You are trapped in 2D Minecraft. And you can see if I sprint, like, I'm moving through a block right now. I think, okay, I'm in terrain. And yeah, have you ever wanted to play Minecraft but 2D? All you have to do is get to 35 million blocks. The floor stopped existing so long ago. As you can see, mobs are spawning, but there's nothing for them to spawn on, so they're just falling to their death. And this is just the crazy thing. If it rains, the rain will only affect you in a 2D motion, because that's how this whole thing works. And yeah, this is the most insane... A rabbit just fell, that's sad. This is the most insane thing ever. 2D Minecraft, the game physics, they broke so long ago, then we broke them further, then we broke the terrain, and then we broke beyond that. and we've created 2D Minecraft. And this is about as far as you can get. If you go to about 2.1 billion, I think that's the max 64-digit integer, you can just crash your game altogether. Like, it will refuse to load you past that coordinates. But even at this point, there is no point being here because, like I said, the whole game is just 2D blocks existing in one direction or another, and it's a very, very bizarre experience to say the least. Like, I can see there's a tree over there, but at the same time, it's a 2D tree. I can't even walk in this direction probably anymore. Things are just very, very strange, and that is what happens when you go this far. So, yeah, this is a guide on how to get to the Far Lands and beyond in the Pocket Edition. Hopefully you all do enjoy this video, or did enjoy this video, sorry. If you did, like it and let me know. Share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if subscribed, you'll see them daily on your homepage. This is one of the, again, stranger things I've ever had to, like, check out for Minecraft. Like, this, again, it's SkyGrid, but 2D, and also, but making my device lag and making me only move in one direction. Very, very, very strange, and yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you try this out yourself, let me know there too. And besides that, I hope you all enjoyed this video, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.